But this very body that is so gung-ho about policing up FEMA failed to police itself. I find it quite ironic with things that are in the news today that this body got the gumption to beat up on public servant people who work for us and indict the entire body of FEMA, where they have their own problems inside the Congress with people who don't follow the rules and don't follow the law. The lady was fired.
So what they're asking for is an independent investigation to determine if someone above her potentially told her. She told NewsNation that it was a directive from above, and she had proof from a Teams message that had information about when you go to houses, what to be careful of. So she has some documentation that she has shared. The administrator for FEMA has said, okay, we will open an investigation. She is open to it. So should they not at least follow the trail to make sure that she was not the only one who was responsible here?
Absolutely. That would normally be deferred to the Department of Homeland Security, IG, who has the capability of doing that and doing it quickly. That should be done. And whoever was involved in that, they should meet the consequences after investigation. But again, here's the Congress. FEMA has administered billions of dollars in Florida, North Carolina, Georgia to survivors. And right now, as we speak, they're going into trying to fund some of the public needs that are required in those aftermath of that storm. And it's going to come right back to this Congress to approve that money. FEMA just don't walk up to everybody and say, okay, we're going to replace your house. They have to operate by the rules that's given to them by the Congress, and it should be investigated. I agree.
What do you make of
this public flogging of FEMA? It shows the degradation in the Congress, that they have no respect for FEMA, and they love beating up on public servants.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm thinking about some of the other hearings that we've had recently. The FBI hearings after the Trump assassination attempt. You've got this one, and you can name a number of others. But now you've got Trump heading back to Washington for a second term in office, and he's called for government efficiency, right? He wants programs to be run more smoothly, less cost. Are there things within FEMA as an organization, one that you're familiar with, that could be run better when it comes to addressing natural disasters and offering aid to people who need it most?
Absolutely. And we'll make some recommendations to the incoming administration. There are things that need to be changed.
Like what?
We should, well, when we put the hurricane cone out, where the hurricane is going, it's best, I think, to have people pre-register if you're inside that cone of uncertainty, while you have electricity, while you have your documents. So once the storm passes and you do get to a computer, all you have to do is put your claim in and all your data is already loaded. That can be done. The other thing is how are we responding with helicopters and first responders? I think there's a more efficient way to task the helicopters that are closest to the storm, as opposed to relying strictly on the National Guard helicopters. We got federal helicopters all around Hurricane Helene, yet they were not used until days afterwards. They should have been there as soon as the wind died down. So there are things that can be done to make it more responsive, and that should be looked at, and we'll make those recommendations to the incoming administration.
One final question for you, Lieutenant, and that is, I just spoke with a man who lives in a retirement home in North Carolina this week who still does not have access to clean water, almost 8 weeks since the flooding passed through his community. How is that possible?
It's possible because the main water system was destroyed by the hurricane. And the other option was for the local government to evacuate those people. They chose not to evacuate, but to remain in place, using water that's provided by FEMA in most cases or by volunteers, and allow people to stay in place. I was an advocate from day one, just like we evacuated New Orleans, that most of Asheville and the mountain people should have been evacuated. They've chosen not to. And now we got winter coming in. It's not just water, it's people living in tents. And the governor of North Carolina, for instance, in that cold weather, got the option to use travel trailers. And the last time I checked, they have not requested travel trailers.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.